The CBSE will be submitting its Class 12 assessment criteria in the Supreme Court today. We've also gotten exclusive details of exactly what the evaluation formula will be. Panel members are in favour of giving weightage to 10th and 11th marks along with the pre-boards.
Class 12 students are on tenterhooks. The future of more than 10 lakh students is at stake. Today, CBSE will be submitting its recommendations in the Supreme Court on what criteria it will be using to award marks. India Today has accessed inside details of how the CBSE is likely to go about its assessment for the final result. Most panel members are in favour of giving weightage to Class 10 and Class 11 marks. This is in addition to the scoring in the Class 12 pre-board and internal exams. The board has rejected reports that it may follow a no-marks criteria to evaluate students. What the final consensus was will be known when the report is presented to the apex court. For now, lakhs of students and their parents can only wait in anticipation.
Both 10 marks must be used with some consideration for streams. The system would reward consistent students for their hard work and also make sure that those students who couldn't give their best due to pandemic conditions aren't judged harshly for it. Since a one-time exam is out of the question, taking in all of the data will be the best way to come up with an evaluation that is fair.
It's in the final exams and during the last few months that the students really pick up and do their best in the board exams and they outshine their marks whatever they score throughout the year. So just wondering how the CBSE will be coming out with the evaluating process for the students. I hope they come out with a very fair system so that there is a win-win situation.
And there are some who insist that the exams be conducted as soon as the situation caused by the virus improves.
मैं चाहता हूँ हो जाए क्योंकि देखिए तो जैसे जेई मेंस पे आपको जाना तो पड़ेगा ही टेस्ट सेंटर जाना होगा वहाँ पे देना होगा प्रिकॉशन लेंगे तो आपको बोर्ड देंगे चाहे जेई मेन देंगे दोनों में आपको रिस्क तो लेना ही होगा तो जब बोर्ड एग्जाम्स मतलब लेने चाहिए इनको ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं पड़ेगा
तो गवर्नमेंट ने डिसीजन लिया है नॉट कम्प्लीटली सेटिस्फाइड बट ऑफ कोर्स अगर होते तो अच्छा होता अगर मेरा कॉलेज एडमिशन उस पर डिपेंड तब भी करेगा तो बिल्कुल होने चाहिए
For CBSE, it's been a tough decision to take. To arrive at a marking system that will satisfy all students, parents and schools. Remember, the formula that the CBSE decides is in all likelihood to be followed by the various state boards which have cancelled exams. With Pankaj Upadhyay in Mumbai and Samarth Srivastav in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
We've been tracking very closely the updates and the developments in the Ghaziabad viral video of an assault on an elderly man. And what we're also seeing is an all-out political war. After the Uttar Pradesh police booked Twitter, along with several journalists and Congress leaders, now a BJP MLA from Loni, where this alleged incident took place, Nand Kishore Gurjar, has lodged a complaint seeking registering of cases against MPs like Rahul Gandhi and Asaduddin Owaisi, alleging that their tweets on the incident were aimed at disrupting communal harmony. Referring to the assailants, Rahul Gandhi had tweeted that true devotees of Ram won't indulge in shameful assault. On the other hand, Owaisi had termed the assailants as Hindutva goons. Remember that the UP police in its FIR has charged the accused with provocation to cause riot, with promoting enmity, deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feels and criminal conspiracy. 2 more accused have been arrested in the case, taking the total number of arrested to 5.
जो इस देश को तोड़ना चाहते हैं और हमेशा चाहे हमारे देश की फोर्स की बात हो सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक की बात हो सब जगह उन्हें केवल देश में दंगा कैसे हो देश का मनोबल कैसे कम हो उसके लिए काम करते रहते हैं। इसमें भगवान श्री राम के भक्तों पर जिस तरह सीधा हमला किया गया है श्री राम भक्तों ने इस तरह का नहीं करना चाहिए।
Now, there is an all-out fight that's broken out over this video of an assault on an elderly man in Ghaziabad. Twitter was filled with posts stating that there was a communal angle to this incident, a claim completely refuted by the UP police. An FIR has been filed against Twitter some political leaders, activists and others for spreading misinformation.
This viral video of a man in Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, being assaulted first emerged on Monday. The video showed an elderly man being assaulted and his beard being forcibly cut off. The incident took place on the 5th of June. On the 7th, in a Facebook Live with a local Samajwadi Party leader, Ummed Pahalwan, the man alleged that he was forced to chant Jai Shri Ram while being assaulted. Several journalists, Congress leaders and a prominent fact-checker expressed outrage while sharing the video, backing these unverified claims on Twitter, prompting the UP police to launch a probe. It has now emerged that the incident was not a communal crime at all, but the result of a personal rivalry. And the UP government has cracked the whip. An FIR has now been filed against social media giant Twitter, fact-checker Mohammad Zubair, co-founder of Alt News, journalist Rana Ayub, online news portal The Wire, Congress leaders Salman Nizami and Dr. Shama Mohammad, and author Saba Naqvi.
We have registered an FIR yesterday in which 7 people have been named and 2 Twitter and Twitter India have been made a party to it. Our social media team is still actively searching for posts who are still indulged. We'll take action against them also.
ट्विटर कॉरपोरेशन तथा ट्विटर कम्युनिकेशन इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड द्वारा भी उक्त धार्मिक संवेदनशील झूठे ट्वीट्स को हटाने के लिए भी कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की गई, जो उनका कर्तव्य एवं जिम्मेदारी थी। अतः जनपद गाजियाबाद के थाना लूनी में इन सभी के विरुद्ध मुकदमा अपराध संख्या 502/21 सुसंगत धाराओं में दर्ज किया गया है, जिनमें साक्ष्य के आधार पर कड़ी कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
The FIR against Twitter comes on a day it lost its intermediary status for not complying with information technology rules in India. The tech giant, along with 6 others, face up to 3 years in jail. They've been charged with provocation to cause a riot, promoting enmity, deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings, and criminal conspiracy. Politics over fake claims and the viral video have also exploded.
इन लोगों के अंदर होड़ है कि किस तरह से 2022 का जो चुनाव है यूपी का, उसकी चाबी सांप्रदायिकता के माध्यम से खोल दी जाए। लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी और योगी जी की जो सरकार है उसका वो प्रतिबद्ध है कि 4.5 साल में कम्युनल या सांप्रदायिक माहौल होने नहीं दिया और ना होने देंगे।
निर्दयता, निर्ममता और सारे बंधनों को तोड़ते हुए जिस तरह हुई ये घटना, ये दर्शाता है कि कानून का राज उत्तर प्रदेश में नहीं है।
इस देश के अंदर सभी जानते हैं कि जाति धर्म की राजनीति कौन करता है, कि उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर में कोई व्यक्ति चाहे किसी भी जाति धर्म का हो, उसकी सुरक्षा करना सरकार की जिम्मेदारी होती है और उसका लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मेंटेन करना भी सरकार की जिम्मेदारी होती है। सरकार अपनी जिम्मेदारी से नहीं भाग सकती, ये तय है।
The big question remains, was this old man made to say that he was forced to chant Jai Shri Ram? Was there a bigger conspiracy afoot? The investigation continues.
The Ghaziabad police claims they didn't find any communal motive behind the incident, and also they claim that none of the accused forced the victim to chant Jai Shri Ram. Hence, an FIR has been lodged against Twitter, Twitter India and many other people who tweeted this video claiming it to be a communal incident. With camera person Ritesh Mishra, this is Abhishek Anand reporting from Ghaziabad for India Today.
The Modi government versus Twitter showdown culminated with the social media platform losing now its intermediary status. This after the tech giant failed to comply with the centre's new IT rules. What this effectively means, if you had to break it down, is that Twitter now has no legal protection against content that's been hosted on its platform.
Massive escalation to the centre versus Twitter war. The months-long showdown over new IT laws at its peak, leading to Twitter losing its legal immunity in India, making it liable for criminal case for any unlawful post as a publisher and not a platform. Taking down the illegal post will no longer suffice. But how did Twitter find itself in this legal knot? Government sources say Twitter repeatedly defied government directive to appoint key officials for grievance redressal of users, even initially posting a lawyer at a legal firm to hoodwink guidelines. The biggest flashpoint came over appointing of a compliance officer, which was delayed repeatedly by Twitter. IT Minister lashed out at Twitter, accusing it of deliberate defiance and posing as free speech champion to circumvent India's legal system, pointing out the alleged arbitrary use of manipulated media tags.
Regarding the Twitter part, all other have complied. We should then notice after...
You gave them 3 months.
No, 3 months. When I announced in the press conference, I believe you were also present.
Yes.
On the 25th of February. 3 months' time was given to the significant social media intermediary, namely those who are having 50 lakhs and more of followers. This exhausted itself on 26th of May this year. Okay. Many have complied. We were in correspondence. We gave them the last goodwill gesture. Please do.
Comply.
Otherwise it will have consequences.
But the opposition called the entire tussle a misplaced priority of the government.
विशाल हृदय का ये देश किसी एक प्लेटफॉर्म से कमजोर हो जाए, मैं समझता हूं कि सरकार को अपनी प्राथमिकताएं तय करनी चाहिए इस बात।
Experts say that Twitter needs to follow the law of the land like it does in many other countries.
A lot of paid influencers and bots have blown the conversations out of context, and a lot of information has been really misleading. So I think the government is fair, and I think we must all encourage and feel that Twitter should go ahead and set up local presence the way government is asking.
Twitter had a running feud with the centre over using manipulated media tag for several BJP handles. It also blinked after government pressure and blocked handles posting fake genocide claims during the initial days of the farm protest. The microblogging site is the only tech firm to lose immunity shield, as Facebook, Google, Instagram, WhatsApp have already fallen in line.
Twitter says it is in the process of meeting the centre's social media intermediary guidelines. Now, what the future holds in store for the social media platform remains to be seen. But with its legal cover gone in the interim, the social media platform can be liable for criminal prosecution if found to be posting or publishing any content which is deemed to be objectionable, fake or inflammatory in nature on its platform. With camera person Kirpal Singh, Paulami Saha in Delhi for India Today.
Slipping into a short break here on First Up. Coming up on the other side, we'll focus on how there's been almost a debate that's broken out over the increase